diver. Today we're embarking on a pretty fascinating journey
We really are.
into one of humanity's oldest, most enduring questions, the concept of the firmament.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for that shortcut to being well-informed or maybe just, insanely curious about how ancient beliefs clash and kind of intertwine with modern science,
Then you're in the right place.
you've definitely come to the right place. We're diving deep into some incredible sources, including the article, The Firmament, Myth, Science, and Metaphor, pulling out those essential nuggets for you.
Getting right to the core of it.
Exactly. And speaking of insights, if you're loving what we bring you here, make sure you visit Mind Expansion Daily. There's even more great information like this over there.
Definitely worth checking out.
Oh, and please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really, truly helps us reach more curious minds all around the world.
It makes a big difference.
And if you feel like, buying us a coffee to keep these deep dives coming.
Fuel the exploration.
Exactly. The link is right there in the description. Okay, now, let's unpack this thing.
Let's do it.
Our journey today is all about understanding the firmament, what it was in ancient thought, how modern science completely reshaped that view,
Yeah, a total shift.
and why this age-old concept still holds such power as a metaphor. What was this mysterious structure, really? And how has our view evolved?
It's quite a story.
So let's cast our minds way back to the earliest human observations. What exactly was this idea of a firmament that captured so many imaginations?
Well, what's truly, I think, universal here is how consistently this idea popped up across diverse ancient cosmologies.
Right, not just in one place.
Not at all. The firmament was conceived as this solid dome, a vast vault, basically a tangible barrier separating our earthly realm from the heavens above.
A physical barrier.
Yeah, it wasn't just empty space in their view. It was often described as like holding back celestial waters.
Waters above.
Waters above, exactly. Or forming a distinct, maybe even spiritual divide between human existence and the divine realms. Imagine a sort of protective physical shell over your world.
That's a powerful image. So where do we first encounter this concept in, the really foundational ancient texts?
Its roots are remarkably deep and widespread. Perhaps the most well-known example comes from the Bible, specifically Genesis 1.6 to 8.
Okay.
Here, God creates a firmament, and the Hebrew word is key here, rakia. It means something like an expanse or a hammered-out vault, almost like metalwork.
Hammered out like solid.
Precisely, like a solid dome. And its purpose was to divide the waters above from the waters below.
Okay, wow.
So this vividly implies a solid structure, literally holding up some kind of heavenly ocean.
Right.
But it's not just the Bible. We find remarkably similar ideas in, say, Sumerian texts, like the Enuma Elish, their epic of creation. In that story, a cosmic dome is actually fashioned from the body of the goddess Tiamat, enclosing the sky and the stars.
From a goddess's body.
Yeah. And even in Egyptian mythology, you see the sky goddess Nut, often depicted as this celestial canopy arched protectively over the earth.
So it really sounds like these weren't just random guesses, but coherent explanations for the world they saw.
They were absolutely coherent and deeply meaningful for them. They aligned perfectly, providing a complete, sort of satisfying cosmology for their time.
Based on observation.
Exactly. To ancient peoples, the sky genuinely looked like a tangible inverted bowl, with stars fixed like little lamps embedded within it.
Right, you can see why they'd think that.
And when rain fell, well, it wasn't just atmospheric condensation as we understand it. It was explained by windows or maybe floodgates in the firmament opening up.
Like in the Great Flood story.
Precisely, like in Genesis 7.11. It integrated seamlessly with their spiritual beliefs about divine order, God's presence, the gods being active in the heavens.
So a very poetic view.
Deeply poetic, yes. An all-encompassing view of the cosmos that resonated with their daily lives and spiritual understanding. But this powerful vision sets the stage for a really dramatic shift when we turn to modern science.
Okay, right. Here's where our modern understanding throws that fascinating curveball, doesn't it?
It really does.
What does our current knowledge of Earth and its surroundings tell us that fundamentally challenges that ancient solid dome idea?
Well, modern science offers a profound counterpoint. I mean, decades of observation, exploration, they've revealed Earth is an oblate spheroid.
A slightly squashed sphere, basically.
Exactly, not flat at all. And it's surrounded by this dynamic, layered atmosphere that just gradually thins out into the vacuum of space.
No rigid barrier.
No physical barrier whatsoever. Spacecraft, satellites, astronauts, they've all confirmed this directly. No dome up there.
So instead of one solid dome, we have these multiple layers, which are fluid, right?
Completely fluid.
Can you maybe break those down for us? What are those layers doing?
Sure. Our atmosphere isn't just one thing. It's this complex system, 5 primary layers, each with its own characteristics, its own job, really.
Yeah.
So nearest to us, up to about 12 kilometers, that's the troposphere. That's where all our weather happens, rain, clouds, wind.
Got it, weather layer.
Then above that, the stratosphere. It goes up to around 50 kilometers. And critically, that's home to the ozone layer.
The ozone layer. Okay, vital.
Absolutely vital. Then comes the mesosphere up to about 80 kilometers. That's where meteors burn up your shooting stars.
Ah.
Beyond that, the thermosphere. This one stretches way out, maybe up to 700 kilometers. It's where the auroras happen, the northern and southern lights,
Beautiful.
and also where the International Space Station orbits.
So way up there.
Way up. And finally, the exosphere. This extends out to maybe 10,000 kilometers, where our atmosphere just gradually fades away into interplanetary space.
Just sort of dissipates.
Pretty much. Oh, and there's also the Kármán line. People often mention that. It's usually sighted around 100 kilometers or 62 miles.
Right, the edge of space.
Sort of.
Conventionally, yeah. It's basically where aerodynamic flight, like with wings, becomes impractical. So it's an unofficial boundary.
Okay. So these layers, they're not just distinct. They're fundamentally different in makeup from a solid firmament. Great.
Oh, completely different. These layers are entirely fluid. They're overwhelmingly composed of gases.
Right.
Like nitrogen, that's about 78%, and oxygen, around 21%, plus trace amounts of others. There's absolutely no solid structure, zero.
Okay.
But what's really important are features within these layers, like the ozone layer we mentioned, tucked in the stratosphere.
Yeah, what does that actually do?
It's incredible. It's this natural shield. It absorbs nearly all, like 97 to 99% of the sun's harmful ultraviolet B radiation.
Wow, almost all of it.
Yeah, it literally protects DNA down here, prevents things like widespread skin cancer. Life as we know it depends on it.
Okay. And you mentioned the ionosphere, too. Right, the ionosphere. It's not strictly a layer in the same way, but it's this electrically charged region that spans some of the upper layers, mesosphere and thermosphere mostly.
And its job.
It plays a critical role in reflecting radio waves. That's how we get long-distance radio communication. And crucially, it interacts with the solar wind.
Protecting us again.
Protecting us again. It helps shield the planet from disruptive geomagnetic storms.
So lots of complex, invisible protection happening up there.
Exactly. Invisible, but vital.
And what's the sort of smoking gun evidence, the concrete proof confirming this open cosmos, not a dome?
Well, the evidence is just overwhelming now. It comes from so many directions. Think about NASA's Apollo mission.
Putting people on the moon.
Exactly. Then you have the Voyager probes, which have traveled way beyond the planets out into interstellar space.
Sending back data all the way.
All the way. And the Hubble Space Telescope giving us these jaw-dropping images of distant galaxies, nebulae.
Things billions of light years away.
Billions. All confirming an open, unobstructed universe. Astronauts have literally seen Earth's curvature from orbit with their own eyes. There's just no evidence, visual, radar, anything of a physical dome.
Right.
And beyond that, the discoveries of countless exoplanets around other stars, galaxies beyond our own Milky Way, even the cosmic microwave background radiation.
The echo of the Big Bang.
The echo of the Big Bang itself. It all firmly places Earth within this truly immense, boundless universe. It's really about our journey from just using our eyes
observation
to building instruments that can see incredibly far, revealing a reality far beyond what anyone could have imagined back then.
So, okay, given this stark contrast, this huge shift, what does it really mean for us today when we try to reconcile these ancient poetic descriptions of a firmament with our very concrete scientific understanding? It feels like a big challenge.
It is a big challenge, and it raises one of the most significant questions about interpretation. How do we read ancient texts? How do belief systems adapt to new knowledge? For many scholars, many theologians, the firmament isn't meant to be taken as a literal physical dome anymore.
They see it differently.
They see it as more of a metaphorical construct, something symbolizing deeper truths.
Like what kind of truths?
Well, in this perspective, the Rakia in Genesis represents, say, a poetic boundary. It signifies order emerging from chaos in God's creation. Or it conveys a theological truth about divine sovereignty or the separation between the human realm and the divine.
Not a physical object, but an idea.
Exactly, not a physical object. There are influential theologians, like John Walton, for instance, who argue that texts like Genesis reflect the worldview of their original audience. Their purpose wasn't to provide scientific facts about cosmology as we understand it.
Right, they weren't writing science textbooks.
Precisely. They were aiming to convey profound theological messages about God's relationship with creation, God's power in ordering the cosmos. So it aligns the firmament with spiritual concepts like that distinct separation between human and divine.
But it's also true that some groups do take these descriptions literally, right?
Right.
We still encounter that idea today.
That's absolutely correct. And it's an important part of the ongoing discussion.
Right.
Conversely, you do have some modern groups, most notably certain flat earth advocates who interpret the firmament literally.
Really? How so?
They claim it as, well, empirical evidence for a domed, enclosed earth. They often cite passages from Genesis as their primary support.
You see this online sometimes.
You do. You can occasionally see posts on platforms like X, formerly Twitter, reviving these very literal interpretations. However, and this is crucial, these claims completely lack any empirical support. They are consistently refuted, often by community notes right there on those platforms,
Pointing out the science.
pointing out the undeniable scientific facts. Satellite imagery, how GPS works, atmospheric science, basic physics. Mainstream science unequivocally dismisses these literal interpretations.
Because they contradict observed reality.
Completely. They contradict things like Earth's curved shadow on the moon during a lunar eclipse, the fact you can fly or sail around the globe, or, as you said, the very existence of GPS, which relies entirely on satellites orbiting an open planet.
Right.
So we're just, reporting on these different viewpoints here, acknowledging they exist, but making it clear we aren't endorsing any particular one, just relaying what's in the source material.
Understood. It's just striking how some of these scientific realities, like the ozone layer, almost seem to echo those ancient protective ideas. Not physically the same, but functionally.
That's a really insightful connection. You're right. While they are absolutely not a solid firmament, layers like the ozone layer and the ionosphere serve these incredibly important protective roles for Earth.
Yeah.
And in that functional sense, they do resonate deeply with those ancient ideas of a shielding sky. The ozone layer, for example, which we've studied extensively, especially since the 20th
You
century.
know a lot about it now?
We do.
Yeah.
And it isn't just absorbing some UV, it takes out that astonishing 97 to 99% of the harmful UVB. Without it, life on the surface would be, well, extremely difficult, if not impossible. Severe DNA damage, cancers.
Wow. And the ionosphere.
And the ionosphere, that charged region up there, it effectively deflects those dangerous solar wind particles. It shields us from the world geomagnetic storms, the kind that could potentially knock out power grids, disrupt communications, damage satellites.
So even though they're gaseous, dynamic, they provide that vital protection the ancients imagined the firmament provided.
Exactly. They mirror the firmament's protective imagery from scripture and myth.
Yeah.
It offers this powerful scientific parallel to those age-old metaphors.
That's fascinating.
Even things like the stratosphere's stability, right, where the ozone layer sits, it creates a temperature inversion, which effectively acts like a cap on weather systems below.
Like a functional barrier?
Like a barrier in its functional outcome. Yeah, even if not in physical form. It's this interesting convergence of function described through ancient poetry or modern physics. It really highlights our persistent human desire for security, for order in the cosmos.
And space exploration has just hammered this home, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Solidified the understanding of an open cosmos, no room for a literal dome.
It has provided irrefutable proof. I mean, just consider the International Space Station.
Right, orbiting up there right now.
Orbiting at about 400 kilometers. That's well beyond the Kármán line, demonstrating totally open space. Or think about these massive satellite constellations like SpaceX's Starlink.
Thousands of them.
Thousands, orbiting around 550 kilometers, constantly beaming internet signals directly down to Earth. That directly confirms there's no physical barrier blocking them.
Can't argue with that.
Not really. These findings, combined with just tons of meticulous atmospheric data from agencies like NOAA, NASA, it all definitively shows the firmament as a literal physical structure is completely incompatible with observed reality.
Okay, so moving beyond the science in the scripture for a moment, what does this enduring concept, the firmament, still tell us about us as humans? What's its lasting cultural or philosophical weight?
Well, there's a really profound philosophical current here, I think, that transcends time. In those ancient cultures, the firmament profoundly represented cosmic order.
Yeah.
It was the crucial boundary,
Separate.
separating the primordial chaos, often symbolized by those waters above, from the ordered, predictable, habitable life on Earth below. And this deep desire for order, for a structured, comprehensible universe that still resonates today, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
You see it, for instance, in modern environmental contexts. The very fragility of our actual atmosphere, threatened now by climate change, by ozone depletion. It forces us to reflect on our role, humanity's role, in protecting our own scientific shield.
It echoes that ancient concern.
It's an echo of that ancient concern for maintaining cosmic balance, absolutely. And the firmament's spiritual interpretation, too, is that sacred boundary between human and divine that continues to invite contemplation. Big existential questions.
About our place in it all.
About our place, about limits, about the nature of reality itself.
And it seems the basic idea, maybe twisted a bit, keeps showing up in our stories too. Domed worlds, enclosed realities.
It absolutely does. The concept, in various guises, just keeps permeating popular culture. You mentioned domed worlds. Think of films like The Truman Show.
Right, where his whole world is fake, enclosed.
Exactly. His entire reality is an elaborate enclosed stage. Or even just the ongoing discussions you see online, maybe on X or elsewhere, about ancient cosmologies. They keep these ideas circulating.
Keeping the fascination alive.
Totally. These narratives, whether they're ancient myths or modern sci-fi blockbusters, they highlight this enduring human fascination with boundaries, whether physical, metaphorical, metaphysical, and our ceaseless quest to understand the cosmos.
To define its limits.
Define its limits, find our meaning within it. It speaks to something deep in us that need to map out our world. So yeah, the firmament, this poetic relic from ancient ways of seeing the world, it continues to spark debate, contemplation across scripture, science, philosophy.
It really touches a lot of areas.
It does. While those biblical and Sumerian texts vividly pictured a solid dome holding back waters, modern science paints a picture of this incredibly dynamic, layered atmosphere that just gradually fades into the vastness of space. No physical barrier.
But
The essential functions of things like our ozone layer, our ionosphere, they offer these remarkable protective parallels. It kind of blends that ancient imagery with the empirical reality we now understand.
so whether you ultimately view the firmament as, a fascinating myth, a powerful metaphor, or maybe something else entirely.
There are layers to it, pardon the pun,
Huh.
right?
This deep dive certainly challenges us, doesn't it? To sort of bridge faith and reason, perhaps, and just invites us to feel some awe at the universe's incredible, boundless complexity.
It's truly awe-inspiring when you look at it that way.
And speaking of different views, we'd absolutely love to hear what you think. Do you agree with how we've summarized this? Maybe you'll disagree, or perhaps you have an entirely different perspective on the firmament.
Yeah, let us know.
Leave us a comment below and share your thoughts. Seriously, we read them. Also, and this is important for us, we're really aiming to increase our reach worldwide. We want more deep divers everywhere.
Connect with curious minds globally.
Exactly. So please let us know where you're listening from. Just drop your city or country in the comments. It really helps us see where the conversation is happening.
Okay, so here's a final thought. Something for you to maybe ponder until our next deep dive.
Okay, lay it on us.
If ancient cultures conceived of the firmament partly to provide order, to give meaning, to draw a kind of comprehensible boundary around the vast unknown, what conceptual frameworks, what mental ferments maybe, might we still be building today?
To make sense of things.
Yeah, to make sense of a universe that just seems to keep expanding physically and conceptually, constantly challenging our understanding of what lies beyond. What are our modern domes? Something to mull over?